How you feeling? How you living? What's good? It's your girl Francine. Today is Thursday.
Yeah, so this is supposed to go up on Thursday. Today is obviously Friday. This video has been a long one to edit, and the one I was supposed to put up today will be up either later today, like late today, or tomorrow morning. So you're still getting the double feature that I mentioned at the end, but it's just not Thursday, Friday, it's Friday, Saturday. All right.
And today we are doing a video that I've wanted to do for a while. And I'm giving you a double feature of, girl, I'm finna take your black card, because you get one today and you get one tomorrow. But this one I'm doing for a reason. So this one comes kind of with a heavy heart after the passing of Natalie Desselle. Now, I was a huge fan of her in Cinderella. I was a huge fan of her in Eve. And I've heard of this movie, but I've never seen it. And like every girl I'm finna take your black card, it's crazy that so many, like, I have not seen so many black movies. And this one's kind of the one that I've heard of so much. And I've actually seen parts and bits and pieces on it because it's on BET like every week. Because it's a classic. And I decided, you know what, in honor of her, and also because I need to see this dang movie, I'm gonna do a girl finna take your black card of BAPS, right? And that stands for Black American Princesses. Cute. So let's get into my review, which will be a review, but of course, you know, I'm trying to stay as unbiased as possible. So let's get into it. So the beginning of this movie, we start off in Decatur, Georgia, right? Right here. Okay, where I'm at right now. Okay, so I'm like, okay, boom, we in Decatur, turn up, you know. So I was like, okay, they got this little DJ talking, DJ Gold Teeth, or no, he was a DJ at the club Gold Teeth, but his name is DJ D. Okay, so they cut to this restaurant, and the nails, honey, the nails. And I'm very much aware that Decatur before, like in the 90s, and Decatur now are two completely different places. Like, I know people who lived in Decatur when it was Decatur, and then I live here now, and it's not as Decatur, but it is definitely still Atlanta, okay? It's definitely still Georgia, okay? So it don't matter how much you're trying to justify it, it's still Georgia, okay? But not talking about that now, but they at this barbecue place, and she's cooking the steaks, and sis got her nails done long, okay? And we see who is played by Natalie. Her name is Mickey, and she is the cook. And Halle Berry's character's name is Nessie, is the waitress, and she hit the meal to this older gentleman, and he like, I don't like the way this made. And Mickey's like, he ain't nobody, just scrape it off, he be alright. And they get from that. And so Halle Berry sees on the TV that Heavy D is apparently looking for the video girl of the world, or something like that, like the perfect video girl to dance in all these different kind of countries. And he's looking for the perfect dancer, the perfect body, the perfect everything. And she's watching this, and she's like, ooh, I want to do that. And then their boss, who's played by Bernie Mac, is like, hey yo, stop daydreaming, you always daydreaming, I'm taking $10 out your check. And she's like, like, come on, don't do that, I'm not daydreaming. And they had this little dialogue, and she's upset. And so her and Mickey, they go home, and they're walking home, and then they come and encounter with these two guys who are apparently their boyfriends. Like, really? Yeah? Okay. And apparently they ain't got no jobs. They've been thinking about applying to jobs, but they ain't got no jobs. They ain't got no car to come pick them up for work. They ain't got nothing. And I was like, sis, been there. It's okay. I understand. But you know, she's like, come on, y'all ain't got no job, y'all ain't got no car. Even if you get a car, you ain't got no job to go to, blah blah blah. They ain't got no ambition, nothing. And this is the point that I think I need to say what may be an unpopular opinion. Halle Berry, what if you decided on her as an actress? Because the there's plenty of good people in this movie. I'm just not feeling this performance. I'm not. I felt like it was a little forced. I don't think Halle Berry is ratchet. I don't think she's that ghetto fabulous queen. I don't get that from her, and I don't think that was really her aesthetic, but she was there. And she's Halle Berry, so I can't say nothing, because she's Halle Berry. And she's a beautiful woman. So, hey, can't say nothing. But I just needed to put that out there, because of course, Miss Natalie Desselle, she plays this character very well. She very much fit into this little aesthetic, and that is great. But I'm not sure if Halle Berry was completely there. But that's just me. That's just me. So, then we cut to them at their house, and Halle Berry is doing Mickey's hair. I'm gonna try to use the character names because I'm bad at that. I know. Halle Berry tries to do Mickey's, oh not Halle Berry, Nessie tries to do Mickey's hair, and while they're doing that, Halle Berry, I'm just gonna say Halle Berry. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this. Halle Berry is she's on TV, the advertisement again for the video girl of the world.
MTV style. Listen, y'all, I got the inside scoop on the biggest video audition to hit the airwaves since the artist formerly known as Prince was looking for that special girl for his video, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Remember that? Well, Heavy D is doing a unique video himself. He's going to be shooting this video all over the world in beautiful exotic places like Brazil and Italy. He's looking for that oh-so special girl that can dance, that has a great body, a great smile, and that...
Right? And she sees it again, and then she also sees it in the magazine. She says, you know, my mama always said you see things in threes, and I think this is a sign we should do this. And Mickey, who's played by Natalie Desselle, was like, hey, yo, we ain't got no money. How the heck we gonna get to LA? Good point. And she was like, come on, I got faith. This is destiny. This is a plan. We want to open up this hair salon that has a restaurant in the back, because Halle Berry's a hairstylist and Mickey is a chef, and they were going to have that. Apparently that's a thing. Cool. And so she's like, fine, we'll do it. We'll go. We'll use our last little bit of money and we'll go to LA. And so Halle Berry's hype. She's like, oh, we need to go out. And she was like, well, we ain't got no money. How we gonna go out? And she was like, well, it's ladies' night. We can get it for free. And so they go to this club. And there's another side note I want to make. There is a lot of scenes in this movie that don't need to be in this movie. And I feel like it's because they had people coming in as cameos. There's a lot of cameos in this movie. And this is a scene that did not need to be a movie. Because we had Faison Love, for some reason, talking to this girl about how she the only one, and also looking at all these other women and not knowing her name. And I was just like, why is this in this movie? Why? But I digress. So they go to the club and they go to the bar and they looking at these guys. You know, the guys trying to talk to them and they're like, oh, we're so thirsty. And again, since I've been there, you get into a club, you like, I got one drink, maybe. I need some more. I don't know, I'm gonna get them. Well, we gonna get some drinks. Been there. So they like, okay, we like let's get some hurricanes. Go ahead, let's get some hurricanes. And they get the hurricanes, and the guy's like $16. And the guys look at them. They look at the guys. Ain't nobody got no money. And so they like, come on, how you not gonna be able to pay for the drinks? And they was like, well, you got it for free. It's ladies' night. My guy, you ain't got $16? $16. Alright, bye. So they leave, and the guys are, you know, trying to grab up on Halle Berry, and Halle Berry's boyfriend from the beginning comes in and is like, hits the dude, punches the dude in the face, and they're like, oh my god, we let him in. And so they go to the bar with them, and it's like $16 again. And the guys look at them, and they look at the guys. Ain't nobody got no money. So again, the struggle was real. And so at the end of all this, you know, Halle Berry and her boyfriend, they get into an argument, and she's like, you ain't got no ambition, you ain't got no want to do anything more than what we at right now, and you need to get it together. And he's like, oh, you got this dream to have a hair salon and a restaurant, it's so stupid. And I'm like, how you want to think her dreams are stupid and you ain't even got a job? But I digress. She breaks up with him, and they're on the plane, next scene, to LA, and the hair, the outfits, and the teeth, and the nails. It's just, I was trying to look ghetto fabulous for this, but first of all, the way my body is set up right now from hibernating from 8 months in this quarantine, just can't fit her ghetto fabulous stuff. We needed at least 3 months notice for that. And also, I can't even do it justice. So I got this little, this ain't it. Don't even think about it. But they're on the plane, and they're talking, Halle Berry's talking about how she has an etiquette book and how she wants to, you know, get to be fancy so that she could be with other rich people. And so when they land, it's just that all went out the window because they see LL Cool J, and they're like, oh my God, LL Cool J. And they were bothering this man, and I'm surprised he ain't cursed them out because they was doing too much. And he was like, I gotta go. And so they get to the auditions for this video vixen of the world, and they get there, and it is crowded. Okay, there's all these women there that are dancers, they are professionals, and Halle Berry tries to dance. And again, I gotta ask, sis, what were you channeling for this role? Because what was that? I know it's supposed to be a comedy, so that's why I'm like, okay, I guess, but okay, this is what she just chose to do. So, but as they're doing this, there's a guy who's staking them out, this guy, and they go into the audition, and once they come out, this guy stops them and is like, hey, you know, my boss has a music video he wants women to be in. You can live in his mansion, and you can also get $10,000. And they like, well, that's what we came here for, so let's do it, let's get it, because the prize for the video Vixen of the World was also $10,000. So they was like, bet, let's do it. And so they get in this guy's car, a guy they don't know. I mean, now we get into Ubers on a regular, but like back in the day, stranger danger was still a thing. Okay, like how did they just get into this random man's car? But I digress. So they get to his car, they go to this mansion, and they go to the door, and the butler answers the door and is like,
we don't take beggars.
I was like, damn, okay. That was rude. And they were like, no, we're supposed to be here. And then the guy whose house it is comes out. It's like, oh, come in. You can go upstairs and get your stuff ready. And then ensues some wacky hijinks, right? Because it's a comedy, and it's a black comedy. So you know it has to be. So then they go downstairs. They go outside, and they go see the guy who let them in. And he's like, okay, actually, it's not a music video I need y'all for. It's like an acting gig, right? So there's a man, you know, he was in love with this woman, and you know, he loved this woman so much, and the one thing that was wrong was that he was white and she was black, and they couldn't be together. And so his family said that he had to marry a white woman, and all this time he wanted to be with this woman. It was the love of his life. He really wanted to be with her, and now he's old, and all he has left is his nephew, me. And he wants to get in touch with the family members of this woman who he was in love with, and that will be you. Now, mind you, this is a real thing. This is exactly what they're doing. They're going to be tricking an old man into believing that she is the granddaughter of this woman that he's in love with. Okay, if that makes sense to someone out there, I guess it makes sense, but it don't make no sense to me. So I was like, all right, how the hell are they gonna do this? Because this don't make no sense. And so the guy introduces them to the older man, and he is angry. He's like, oh, why did you show them to me? And so they're like, oh God, okay, well, we need to just like go, because we don't know what's going on, but we gotta go to dinner, so let's go to dinner. So they go to dinner. The older guy is kind of a little bit better. He's a little bit more okay, and they have dinner, and the dinner is bland. Okay, it's like some asparagus and some unseasoned chicken. And You know what, I'm gonna keep my comments to myself because I was gonna say something, but you know, I don't want to upset nobody, but you know, certain people don't usually season their food as much, or you know, they have different kinds of food they eat, and that's fine. Just not for everybody. And so girl, Mickey was like, hey yo, what is this? You need more, you need to eat a little bit more hearty, you need some more meat on your bones, you need to hear some soul food. And he was like, oh, I love soul food, yes. And so she goes in the kitchen and she cooks up this soul food, and it look kind of good, I ain't gonna lie, it look kind of good. And gives it to the old guy, and he loves it, but everybody around is like, oh god, like he's gonna get sick, he's old, he's apparently dying. That's another thing that you know, he's very sick, he's dying, he has like a couple weeks left. And so they're like, his dietitian said he can't eat this, like what are you doing? And she's like, no, he good. And so next we see them in their bed, and they're, you know, chilling in the bed, and Halle Berry's missing her boyfriend. I don't understand why, but Mickey is hooking up with old boy Antonio, who was the guy who bought them there. And he's like, oh, my family has a lot of money and I can give you the world. And then I was like, who is he? Is he related to them? No, because he sounds kind of Hispanic. So I'm gonna possibly say no, especially since they made this old man marry a white woman because he didn't want to marry a black woman. So I don't think he's related. Who is he? Is he like a handyman? Like who is he and how does he have money? Because I don't get it. So then we cut to the next morning and they are cooking for the older man. And the butler that they saw in the beginning is very upset. He's like, look, y'all can't be cooking him this. This is not healthy for him. And then we see Mr. Old Man, Mr. B, I think that's his name. Mr. B just hopping, skipping, and jumping around the whole, talking about something. I feel so much better after I had that food you gave me. And everybody's like, how? You just ate at least 50 grams of carbs with that meal alone. That can't be good for you, sir. Watch your heart. And so now they're at the pool and they're having a good time at the pool, and Mickey gets her hair wet. Oh my god. And the older guy's like, oh my god, is she okay? She's like, yeah, she's got her hair wet, she's worried about being a little nappy. And he was like, well, y'all can go to my best hairstylist and y'all get your hair done, and then we can have a shopping spree. So they're having a shopping spree. They go out and someone's taking pictures of them, and it looks like it's the nephew, the guy from the beginning that was telling them about this little story they won't be telling. And throughout this time, mind you, Halle Berry is trying horribly just playing horribly to act like she is the girl Lily, who's the woman that this older gentleman was in love with, trying to act like she's her granddaughter, which she, again, I don't know if it was supposed to be written like this for her to sound this horrible, trying to lie, but sis can't lie, okay? She can't. And so they're going, so we see him taking all these pictures, and then we cut to him in the house on the phone saying, it's fine, they don't suspect anything, they're too stupid to know what's going on, we're gonna be rich people, you know, we're gonna make a lot of money. And he has pictures of them in the pool together, pictures of them shopping together, and I'm like, huh, okay, what is he trying to pull now? And so next, when they come back from the shopping spree, they're talking about, oh my god, this guy is such a nice person, he's such good people, and they're talking about how they miss the stories. Now this part doesn't really matter, it's another scene that you may think isn't necessary, but this is when they start bonding with the butler, who is, at this point, up until this point, hated them, like hated their guts. But he was like, oh yeah, I watched the stories, he was telling them about how he felt about people for the story. So that was a very good little bonding moment between the two of them, I mean the three of them, and that kind of continues on throughout the story. They have this like actual bond and care for each other. So then we have probably not only the most annoying scene, but one of the only scenes that actually made me die laughing. And is when they go out to dinner with this older gentleman, and they see all these celebrities, right? They see they see a bunch of celebrities, right? And so they start acting crazy. Oh my god, to all these celebrities. And they finally see Heavy D, right? And Halle Berry was like, oh, I auditioned for your thing, and I don't know why you didn't pick me, I'm a good dancer. And she was like, yeah, your hair hit somebody, sis. You took someone's eye out. I don't need to see anymore. And then Mickey is like, no, come on, I'm gonna be the next Monifa. And then she starts singing, and oh, I lost it.
Oh, she can dance, and I'm the next Monifa.
She is.
Oh, you're the next Monifa.
Yeah. Look, the Mickey remix. Check us out.
Oh, no, this is not
It's been too long since you've been gone. Feels good when I'm with you. I miss you. Come back home.
I absolutely lost it. I was like, oh my god. Like, I don't understand how did they get kicked out of this restaurant, but they let them stay. They had their dinner, and the older man keeps asking her, well, you know, what did your grandmother tell you about the house? What did she tell you about us? And she was like, oh, you know, she ain't really talk much. Like, lie. It's horrible at lying. So the next scene is, you know, Halle Berry's in her room, and she's talking to her boyfriend. She misses him and all this other stuff. And then they start arguing out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what flipped in the phone, but they started arguing. And, you know, she hangs up the phone. And then the butler answers the phone and is like, hello. And it's him. And he's like, oh, he wants to talk to you. I don't want to talk to him. Okay. And then he's just go-between the two of them. And I'm like, how is this happening? What is going on here? How did they become this close? And so the next scene is interesting. And this is when I realized the plot of this movie, because this gave it away. So Mickey is with Antonio, and they are kind of in the room, and he's like, you know, I want to give you he has gloves on, and he's like rubbing on her feet, and she's like, you know, I don't want to go any further until you put a ring on my finger. And he was like, oh yeah, Mr. B gave me a ring. It's in here, and it's in a safe. Okay, so he tries to take it off. He tries to open the safe. Mind you, he has gloves on. And he's like, oh, I can't do it. How about you try to do it? And then it clicked in my head. He has gloves on. First of all, why do you have gloves on? Number one. Number two, why would you ask her to open the safe? Why would you give her the code to the safe so that she could put her fingerprints on it and it still won't open? I'm not dumb. I figured how this was gonna go anyway. So, okay, she can't open it, and so they leave, right? And the next thing we see is somebody breaking into the house, because duh. And the butler gets knocked out, right? And they come downstairs and they beat the guy up in a very annoying fashion, which again, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are just either drawn out or unnecessary, like why? But they knock him out, and it ends up being Antonio. Who's surprised? Not me. And so Antonio gets caught, and you know, the nephew comes down. I don't remember what his name is, so I'm just keep calling him the nephew. Comes down and is like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh, Antonio and the girls were trying to rob us. And the butler was like, no, they didn't. It was just him. And he was like, Antonio was like, well, her fingerprints are still on the safe. They'll believe me. They'll believe us if we say it's them. Nobody believes it's not them. And I'm like, sir, you're saying this in front of an actual witness. Your jig is up, okay? The jig is up. So of course he gets carted away to the police, and they're like, how the heck did this man, Mr. B, sleep through this? And so they're trying to wake him up, see if he's awake, see if he's alive, because they think he's dead. And apparently he was asleep that whole time. So I don't know how the heck he slept through that. So then we see the attorney of Mr. B come to the house, and she's like, your nephew is suing you and saying that you're incompetent. He says that you befriended these ghetto black women who tried to break into your house, and now they're trying to rob you blind, and he thinks you're incompetent and unable to take care of your estate. And I was like, dang, we going that far? Okay. And so now the guy is upset. The guy, now Mr. B is like, look, I know that, you know, he paid for y'all to get here. And so, you know, since this whole thing has kind of gone too overboard, I'll pay you some money so you can, you know, go about your way. And they're like, no, we don't want your money. We want to be here. And it's when you start to see that, like, it's not being about the money once they started bonding with him and the people there. And so that was a very interesting thing to see. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. And so he's like, let's go out. Let's have a good time. Let's go dancing. So they go dancing. They go and they have a good time. They're partying. They're dancing. But Mr. B starts getting faint. He passes out, okay? And they're like, oh my God, let me sit him down. Let's make sure he's okay. And so they leave, and again in the car. So then in the car, Halle Berry is talking about her boyfriend and, you know, how much she loves him and how she wants to be with him, but he ain't got no ambition and he ain't got no drive and he don't seem like he want anything more out of life. And then Mr. B goes into this long thing about how, you know, Lily, who is the woman he was in love with before, got him ambition because he didn't have any ambition, you know, he didn't have any want to do anything, and so being with her made him want to have ambition, made him want to change. And he decided to be a fabrics person because she wanted to be a fashion designer, and it was this whole long thing. And I kept saying, this is a very toxic thing to say, because here's the tea, sis. As a person who's been there, done that, gotten a t-shirt at least 2 times, okay? Let me just tell you, you can't make someone have ambition. Now, if they already have it and they just ain't utilizing it, great. But if they don't want nothing out of their life, if they just want to sit around and do nothing, if they want to mooch off of you forever, if they ain't really showing you any type of get up and go, don't think you can change that, okay? Period. And that's not just with dudes. There's women like that too. If you feel like the person you are with isn't doing anything more than what, like if you think that what they're doing is not right for you or not good enough for you, and you've been with them for long enough to know that they ain't gonna stop, let it go. Someone's put that PSA out there. So now you know. The more you know. Anyway. Yeah, that part kind of pissed me off, but it was okay. So now Halle is upset. She's like, oh, I don't want to leave. I feel bad because we're lying to this old man and he's such a nice guy. And he's like, oh, we can't leave. Like, we can't leave and not tell him what's going on. So she decides to write a letter to tell him what's going on. But then her boyfriend shows up with some suitcases and he cut his perm. She kept saying he got his ugly behind perm and she wanted him to cut his perm, and he cut it. He looked all done up. He came through and he was like, I'm sorry. I got my license. Because that was one thing. He wanted to have a taxi cab company and he didn't have a license. Okay. I got my license. I'm trying to do better. Please let me love you. I love you, girl. And he also bought Mickey's boyfriend. And he's like, you deserve better. You deserve better. I'm going to give you better, girl. I love you. And she accidentally knocks him into the pool, which is kind of funny. And so then we find out that Mr. B is going to the hospital. He's being rushed to the hospital. They don't know what's going on. He's getting rushed to the hospital. And so they go to the hospital and his nephew is there. And he's like, all right, I got your check for you. I'm sure you know you don't really care. You just here for this check. And she was like, I don't want the check. I came here because I care about him. And he rips it up. And he's like, huh, fine. And so they go in there and Halle Berry's trying to tell him, look, I'm not Lily's daughter. But he's like, shh, no, it's okay. And then he dies. Which, intense, right? So the attorney is there and the attorney is like, if you were trying to tell him that you're not Lily's daughter, a granddaughter, he already knew because Lily ain't never had no kids. So this whole time he was going along with this. And I'm trying to figure out why. That's the part that didn't make any sense. Like, I get why the nephew probably didn't know because he probably don't give a crap about his uncle. He just want his money. But to me, I'm like, why is he going along with this? Is he like just seeing, kind of like feeling them out and see what happens, or what? It never gets answered. But so then, you know, we see them after they go back to the house. They're getting their stuff. They're about to leave. They're getting first class. Okay, they're leaving. And the attorney comes in and says, actually, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. So they go sit down in the dining area and she starts reading Mr. B's will. And that's where we learn what BAPS means, Black American Princesses, because he says, you know, thank you so much to my Black American princesses. Y'all been so good to me since before, like for this time before I passed away. And then the attorney starts reading off the will. Now, I've watched this movie twice and I still can't tell what the heck she was saying. I'm figuring that like the guy, Mr. B gave all his money to them, the you know, 2 of them, because the nephew's mad because obviously he didn't get anything. They're very happy and the butler's very happy, so I guess maybe he gave the butler some money. but you can't hear it because it's silent. I don't know why the heck they did it like that, but whatever. And so then it's the end, except we see that they open up their restaurant and hair salon, Lily's. They named it after her, which is very sweet. And then they have Dennis Rodman, which I don't know why that made me laugh so bad. I don't know why. I'm weird. And the butler's there, and he's like, you know, he's their little, you know, spokesperson, and they're apparently opening new stores and all these other places. And then they see their boyfriends, they have their cab system, and I'm like, yeah, they got that because you're your money, but it's okay. You can support them as long as they're doing something, I guess. So they have that cab company, and that is the end of the movie. So yeah, that is Babs. To be quite honest, in the beginning of this movie, I didn't like it. I was like, this is stupid. I don't really know how this is supposed to be funny. And then, like, as the movie continues to go on, it's actually kind of fun. It's a cute little fun movie. It's not anything that you think is going to be prolific. It's not going to make you think, okay? It's a funny movie. It's stupid. It's a stupid comedy, and sometimes you need to get a little stupid comedy. So, like all of my Girl I'm Finna Take Your Black Cards, I am going to rate this movie. Now, I feel like I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 mainly because I loved Natalie Desselle, which is the best person in this movie. She honestly fit the aesthetic of the movie. She did not seem like she was forcing it, which, sorry Halle, you seemed like you was forcing it a little bit. And she also kind of felt like genuine in the role. Like her words didn't seem exaggerated. She didn't seem like she was trying to be this ghetto fabulous person, and like it looked like it was coming naturally. Pretty much everybody else in this movie, well, no, I think that most of the people in this movie could act a little bit. The script was kind of so they ain't really had nothing to really work with. There was, again, some unnecessary scenes in this movie that I was like, well, what is this doing here? But it, like I said, it was a fun little movie, and like I said, the Monifa part, which was her, I died laughing. I see this movie twice. I die laughing every time I see that, and I die laughing every time I see her hit her boyfriend into the pool. Like, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it's just so funny. But yeah, that's my review. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them in the comment section. Any suggestions for videos that you would like me to do, because I give my subscribers what they want. So subscribe, and then you get your request made, okay? Subscribe. Thank you. With that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow for my other Girl I'm Finna Take Your Black Card, which all this month are going to be Christmas themed. That's why I did this one today, because I want to do Christmas movies that I haven't seen, which are a lot actually. I'm bad with movies. I'm so sorry. But that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.